Newcastle is under new ownership. Let's get some views on that. We can speak to Sam Mulliner of Newcastle Fan TV, who joins us now. So I've got to ask you, how do you feel?
I don't know whether to laugh or cry. This is 14 years of Mike Ashley, and now 4 years Amanda Staveley's been trying to buy Newcastle with this consortium. Wow, just speechless. We've finally got our club back. I mean, you can say that, okay, Newcastle are now one of the richest clubs on earth. I mean, that's all well and good, but it's about much more than that for the city of Newcastle and the supporters. It's about rebuilding relationships between the fans and the club, and legends like Kevin Keegan and Alan Shearer. There's a lot I've heard from the previous regime that this new ownership can resolve pretty easily.
We've had a statement from Newcastle. The words that spring out are patient and long term. Are the fans prepared to be patient, or do you want it, and do you want it now?
No, we are fully prepared to be patient. I mean, there's a common misconception that we expect to be challenging for titles every year and we should be in the Champions League, and now we're going to sign Mbappe and Messi and all of that carry on. Look, first and foremost, we have to stay up this season. As Keith Downey rightly said before the break there, we're 19th in the Premier League. There's work to do this season. But on the positive side, this is the start of a journey that the fans want to be a big part of, and it's so nice to have hope back and some positivity around the football club again. It's been so dearly missed.
Isn't that the key? Hope is a great word. Is that what Newcastle fans just haven't had over these last 14 or so years?
Absolutely. When all you're doing is just being a football club for football club's sake and not really competing and just doing what's good to get by, and it's so depressing, and you can tell that from the areas of the club. Like St James's Park doesn't shine as much as it used to. It needs a lick of paint. It needs a facelift, and there's so many other areas of the club that like that. It's the whole atmosphere that's represented 14 years of neglect, really. And I know there are teams and clubs worse off than, and that have been worse off than Newcastle, but look, it's such a relief, and it almost doesn't seem real. You've got to pinch yourself that this is finally happening and Mike Ashley's gone.
Yeah, well, it is real, Sam. So you've got your hope back. So what do you hope for?
What do I hope for? Short term, we need to stay up, for one. We obviously need a change of manager. Obviously, Steve Bruce is like all the other managers under the Ashley regime that hasn't had the correct support, but I think Steve Bruce knows the writing's on the wall, that the performances on the pitch and the things that he can control have not been good enough. So a change of manager is urgently needed. I want to see relationships rebuilt, as I said before, with club legends. I want to see Kevin Keegan in an ambassadorial role. I want to see Alan Shearer have whatever he wants. I want to see Les Ferdinand back as director of football. I want to see the good old days. You've had Warren Barton and Rob Lee on earlier today, who know exactly what it means to be not from Newcastle, but to be a part of Newcastle United. And they should have roles in there as well. There's a lot of quick wins for this new ownership, and I'm sure they're fully aware of that.
Any sympathy for Steve Bruce?
Yes, to a point. The performances on the pitch and playing players out of position and dodgy formations, that I have no sympathy with, because that is Steve Bruce's doing, and it's not been good enough. I mean, we've had more takeovers than wins so far this season, which is pretty crazy. But look, I have sympathy that he wasn't backed properly in the summer. He's put all of his eggs in the Joe Willock basket, which is fine, great signing, one for the future, as well as, you know, good age, English, 21 years old, to build a team around with the likes of saint-maximin. But, you know, when you're struggling not even to bring players in on loan on deadline day, that side of things, I obviously have sympathy with Steve Bruce for. But I think he's been around long enough, and history tells us when managers are present during a takeover, they don't really last too long afterwards.
Sam, there have been, of course, worries about human rights issues. Do you have some reservations?
Look, I get that, and there's probably a conversation to be had about that in the future, but today is not that day. Today is about the scenes at St James's Park, and we've got our club back, and we've got fresh hope, and that is what today is all about. I mean, as I say, there is a conversation to be had, and things are going to be highlighted in the future, and that's for the future. But today, it's all about celebrating, and the hashtag canned trending on Twitter, as I'm sure it will be very soon.
Well, Sam, I'll let you enjoy your celebrations. I'm very happy for you. Thanks ever so much for taking time to speak to us.
Thank you very much.